everyone, welcome to my corner of the world. Today I'm going to share a masking technique with you. If you look closely at my card, you'll see that the flower appears to sort of overlay the leaves, or the leaves tuck under the flower, whichever way you'd like to look at it. But it's all on one piece of cardstock. And if you look real carefully, you'll see that there is some wink of Stella on there, just to give a little bit of life to my flower. So we are using the Tasteful Touches stamp set today, and we're using the flower and the leaf and this greeting here. And we're going to start with some sticky notes, and the stamp, the flower stamp, and I'm using grey granite for my ink. It's a lovely soft colour and works really well for this particular flower. So I am going to stamp this one time on my sticky note, and what I'm going to try and do is to stamp it so that the image is on like the sticky bit of the note. So I'm just going to pop it down the bottom like that, and it's quite faint, but that's fine. Set that aside for a moment. Then I'm going to very carefully trim round the flower like this. Okie doke. And I just carry on sort of trimming round that. But I do have one that I've been using, and you can see it's been used a lot of times. So it will keep going as long as there's some sticky still on the back there. So we're going then to get our supplies, and I'm using a piece of white cardstock. And the first thing I'm going to stamp is the greeting. I find that when I've got a big piece or a big greeting like this, it works better if you stamp it first, and then you don't run out of space. And I'm just going to position it sort of in the corner. And I may have mentioned this in other videos, but when I'm putting greetings on, I do like to put them at an angle. Like this. It means I'm not stressing out making sure, is it centered, is it level. It just works. It's far simpler. And then we're going to pop in our flower, and I'm going to use that then to see how much room I've got. So I'm going to pop my flower just so it's going to miss my greeting like that. And this is where I'm going to put my mask on. I'm going to just pop it so that it's covering my flower like this. Make sure it's down. And then I'm going to get my nice leafy stamp. And then I'm going to position it so that it is on my card like that. And this one I'm going to bring down. I'm going to put a little bit of paper on my work surface so I don't get ink on it. And I'm just going to bring this one down, and I don't necessarily want the whole thing on my card. I'm just happy to have some of my flowers, some poking out there. And there you go. So that's the masking technique. You're just using a sticky note to mask off your area. So to finish my card, I'm using some watercolor pencils. This is Granny Apple Green with Flirty Flamingo, and I just kind of filled in my flowers and with my leaves, and then with my flower I like to just use a circular motion when I'm using these pencils. And it's not like the old-fashioned colouring that we used to do as children, where you're trying to cover every little bit of the white. because in a moment I'll use a blender pen and it will smooth all the little lines out and give you a nice finish. So this is my blender pen. It's double-sided, and I have done videos, double-ended. I have done videos on the blender pen before, but it's always nice to revisit other things again. So it's got a liquid. I have no idea what the liquid is, but when you use it, you just, again, I use a circular motion. I can't tell you why. It just works best for me, and you must develop your own. And it kind of sort of smooths out and blends in. And I've got two ends, so I can use one end to do my green and one end to do my flirty flamingo. And to get the colour out, you just gently rub it on some paper on the side until it runs clear. So I've got one again that I have done a lot of it on, and you just work it. And I mean, I'm not even putting an awful lot of sort of colour on this, just enough to sort of pick the leaves up. There we go. It's quite relaxing, really. And then I'm going to get my pen and then just pick up the colour and just move it into the rest of the little leaves, like that. Alright, as I say, just run the colour out on a piece of paper, and then on the rest of my flower, again using my circular motion, and I just use a regular pencil sharpener to sharpen these up, but I don't sharpen them to a point. I find that if you have a flat surface, if you can just see I've got a little flat surface there, it colours a lot smoother and gives you a better finish. And so again, I'll go in with my blender pen, and I'm not pressing very hard. I'm kind of letting the liquid, whatever that liquid happens to be, to just take up the watercolor pencil, and I'm just smoothing it around until it works. And when you touch it, it doesn't even feel wet, so it's not putting a huge amount of liquid onto your cardstock. So you don't have to worry about using watercolor paper or thicker paper, because as I say, it's not soaking your card. And then I've got my Wink of Stella, and I love Wink of Stella, and I'm only putting it on my flower. And again, the Wink of Stella will smoosh the colour around a little bit more. I think this one is nearly run out, but anyway, it'll do for the time being. And then in the middle of my flower, I just use the Granny Apple Green again. So I might come back and do that with a fresh pen. So that's it for masking, watercolouring with a blender pen. I am just going to finish my card for you, and I'm just layering this onto a piece of Pear Pizzazz cardstock. All the dimensions will be on my blog. If you care to look underneath this video, you'll see that there's a link to my blog, and that's where all the information will be. Now this is a piece of the In Good Taste Designer Series paper, and it's full of like wood effect and stressed plaster and tile. It really is a super duper pack of paper. And if you wish to join in my paper share for 2020 and 2021 from the annual catalogue, then there's a post on my blog about that. So some dimensionals on there. Oh, didn't take off the back. There we go. Some dimensionals on the back. I always like to use 5, one in the middle, just to anchor it securely, and then pop on there. And then my envelope I will decorate with the leaves, like that. Just pop it there. And my final flourish is a bow, and it's made with this absolutely scrumptious shimmer ribbon. It's 1/4 of an inch and it's in the grey granite, and it is gorgeous, and it makes the most beautiful bows. And I'm just going to pop that on with a glue dot. And again, I have a video on my YouTube channel that shows how I tie my bows, and I'm just going to pop it on the corner like that, and that's it. There is my card. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the technique, the masking technique, as well as a little revisit on the watercolor pens and the blenders. Certainly enjoyed sharing it with you, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.